So the pigs have all been processed, and I'll show you their last paddock, paddock 5 or 6, I believe. I think it was 5. They had an incredible amount of disturbance. This was home base. Home base is all dirt, but that'll green up very quickly now that they're gone. They're pallet shelters, which they made great use of. You can see the berming on the edge of the trail. This was the old fence line. Perfect place for planting as long as that pathway is going to remain used next year. I had a whole bunch of trees planted out there that the pigs destroyed. So all of them, 100%. So I need to be a little smarter about fencing pigs out of trees. There's that Jordan Green style feeder. Next year I'm going to go to a different style feeder. This saves a lot of feed, but they still waste a lot. It is, I guess it's not ideal. I would say they waste feed to the tune of $10, $15 a day. And if there's still feed in the trough, they're not going to eat the stuff on the ground. And by the time they do get around to eating it, especially if I have 400 or 500 pounds in there, then it's all moldy and they don't really show a lot of interest in it. So I lose a lot of money in feed waste, which hopefully next year I'll rectify through a purpose-built feeder, a professional feeder. So we'll keep walking paddock here. You can see all bare dirt. There's my idea for protecting trees that worked, and I'll do it next year. Those 3 trees are fine. So one strand of hot wire near the fence line, tied into the electric through a little pigtail. And all that will very soon look like this. The pigs do an awesome job of fertilizing, clearing out underbrush, and allowing grass to grow. A lot of these trees are going to come down this winter, and I will get this silvopasture more established, do some planting of nut-bearing and fruit-bearing trees out here, leave things like autumn olive alone so that it continues to fix nitrogen for everything else around. But as you can see, fall's coming. Things are starting to drop, all the leaves. These are all maples. But we're walking the old fence line. The pigs didn't uproot as many of the rose bushes as I'd prefer, so a lot of those are still here. I'll come through in the wintertime and lop them off at the bottom, let some more beneficial things grow. We've got some Japanese barberry. That's been spreading pretty bad out here too. I'm gonna lop that off as well. Pigs don't eat it, and it doesn't really do anything for me. Got some bamboo starting to make its way in here out of the bamboo patch. I don't want it growing too much more, or expanding rather, so I'll cut that. Cows eat it. As you can see, nice open area here with an obvious browse line. When I do cut these trees, I'll leave stumps about 2-3 foot high, so if the pigs have plenty of scratching posts out here, that won't inhibit light hitting the ground. So the pigs will still be able to, you know, have some scratching posts while I can still grow grass and other things. You can see any tree that they had access to, they rubbed mud on, scratching their backs and their butts. This is the corner of the old fence. I try and lay these logs in wet areas. There's kind of a natural, not really a stream, but a natural wet area that runs that line. Hopefully they'll rot and kind of fill it in, spread that water out. spice bush they kind of leave alone except for the young growth. They create little ponds that the frogs will, you know, love to have. I leave their ponds alone, they'll turn into next year's wallows. And then I had all these trees fenced out from them, so they didn't destroy these. So you can see the only thing left alive in there is spice bush, barberry, and multiflora rose. If you look at my last video, this was all full of brush. I planted those trees yesterday to try, they're chestnuts. I'll fence them out of them next year. But all the trees I had planted in there have been destroyed. That's a locust tree, which they've exposed all of the roots. Black locust. So I'll probably end up cutting that one down. And then here is the fence line through the woods. These paths have been used for multiple years now as fences, so I don't really have to do a lot of land clearing anymore. Just rerun the fence in the same spot. We come right up to the corner of home base. So there was a hog panel here just yesterday. But there you go. That's the effect the pigs have on the woods.